Hey everybody, it's Bruce from Board Game Impact, and in this video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Adventure Zone Bureau of Balance storytelling game for 2 to 5 players. Now, thankfully, I was sent this from the publisher, so I'm really excited to be digging into this, but just wanted to be transparent about that. But something important about our channel is we primarily focus in on our podcast, which is a bi-weekly podcast available on all the platforms. So go check that out. But one of the things that's important for us is we all come at things from different perspectives. And so Josh and I on the podcast, as well as this content, like to share that perspective and that paradigm. So Josh and I both work full-time in higher education, and I'm getting my PhD as well in human resource development. And so by doing that kind of research, we acknowledge what's called a positionality, which I think is important. So first of all, positionality of this game was sent to us. So whatever that means to you, just to put that out there. I'm very excited to check it out though. On top of that, I kind of love the Adventure Zone. So the Adventure Zone is a very popular podcast as well as set of graphic novels. So I only have the first 2. I think the third one's out and the 4th one's coming out. It's on pre-order right now. If you're not familiar with the Adventure Zone, I think that's important for us to know first. So before even going into the unboxing, the Adventure Zone is a widely popular D&D actual play podcast. I'm using air quotes lightly because it's done by the McElroy family. So Griffin, Travis, and Justin. And then for this, they actually bring in their father as well. Now, what's cool is the McElroy family had another podcast before this called Mabim Bam, or My Brother, and Me. And Griffin's like, who's the littlest brother, wanted to play D&D, so he roped his family into a thing of let's play D&D together, and they recorded it, and it ended up being wildly successful. And that first arc is what's called the balance arc, and so this pulls in different things from the balance arc, and I'm going to give some references to that in the unboxing. But also wanted to acknowledge that really pulled out some emotions for me in listening to Balance the first time, and I've gone back and listened to it a couple more times since then and listened to some of the episodes. Both moments of really great storytelling and causing tension and stress, and then also some other times where it was like really heartfelt. And with that being said, a storytelling game based on a narrative that I already enjoy and Josh enjoys. I think this might be bringing out some really cool things. So with that being said, let's go into the unboxing, and then we'll come back to the office after that. So off to the unboxing. Okay, well, here it is. The Adventure Zone Bureau of Balance, a collaborative storytelling card game by Keith Baker and Jen Ellis, produced by Twogether Studios. So before I even dig in to the unboxing, I think it's important to look at the box. I love the fact that there's different call-outs to different scenes or things from the podcast. If you're a fan of the podcast, some of this is going to stand right out to you. So the express, the train, you've got the crystal caverns, you've got some different things going on like red robes. On each of the sides, you've got the Balance headquarters on the moon. Something moved around in the box just now. But then also on the back, of course, you've got the 3 main characters of Magnus, Merle, and Taco. And of course, everyone's favorite, Angus MacDonald. Essentially the boy Sherlock detective. So let's check it out. Again, 2 to 5 players, and for 60 to 90 minutes. But we'll see. We're gonna do a playthrough of this to see how that all goes. No one ever reads the rules. That's pretty true. So this is nice. It's got a little QR code if you want to scan that. It's got also the bracers of the Balance logo inside of it. I like that. And then it's got a little message from Lucretia, the director. In here, I'm going to try and avoid any spoilers. I don't think there's anything to spoil. It's not a campaign game. But they got a list of the different components, the sheets, the setup. Looks pretty straightforward. I like how once you actually move to the stuff that's regarding the setup and actual playing of things, you've got a different set of border. It's nice to delineate things. And also, of course, pulling stuff out of the podcast. So like Fantasy Costco. Can't wait to see that and some of the items. Hello, sirs. For more tips on being the best team leader you can be, go to this. So it's got some different QR codes throughout it. kind of blending the two environments of that whole let's give them the rules, but then also like if they want to dig deeper into it. And here's a third one for more information and combinations of decks of cards. So I did see about this. So it does recommend a standard mission, which would be the Lich, the Staff, and the Cave. But then if you want to try some other things, so you got a speed one, a slower one, an unpredictable one, and then if you want to try some different combinations of storytelling, you can mix different decks together. That's kind of cool how they're doing that of let's make a story by combining these decks, so essentially you can flip and then reveal what's going to happen and react. So you got different villains, a relic, and location. So I guess that actually is how all this is set up. So you got the villain, the relic, so in this case the staff, and then the cave. That's pretty cool. And the locations are the cave, the temple, the train, and the tomb. They come in the box. Got a series of 10 different icons. It's pretty straightforward. Turn orders right here, and then assistance and how goals work. You must defeat 2 of the 3 challenge decks, one of which must be the relic deck before your health is reduced to 0. And then what is the adventure? So this talks about the adventure zone. That's pretty nice. I love the image of this, of the bicycle with the D20. Awesome, and then it's got some links. And then what is the Bureau Balance? Some more information on the back. Well, that's pretty cool. This is not, I'm not spoiling anything. I just love, if you're a fan of the show, then you're gonna notice some things here in this artwork. That's pretty cool. If you have not listened to the show, I'd highly recommend it. It's some of the best storytelling I've ever heard. But this is all really exciting. I also love how Fantasy Costco is the only one not in a dome bubble. That's interesting. Wonder how they breathe. Okay, let's look at what else is in here. Okay, so those aren't actually like player boards, they're player sheets. Each of these is a player sheet. That's pretty nice. So this is for the Bard. Gives 4 basic stats. You're a Bard and a blank. You're an expert on relics mostly because of your blank. You generally assist your teammates in using your blank. Your inspiration, some different things. On the bottom here about some different stuff, your own notes, you name yourself, I guess you draw yourself. I like it's got different frames for the different characters. This is kind of cool because the Bard, it's like all fancy. The Wizard, this is Taco, if you've listened to the podcast. So definitely all like fanciful with this. That's a nice touch. Now what's interesting, oh, there's 2 stuck together, sorry about that. The Priest, and the shield, oh that makes sense, and the hammer. Oh, it's good to see all of Merle's stuff. I don't see anything for a Zone of Truth though, so we'll see about that. As a priest you have the ability to heal your allies. That's interesting, they barely did that, no kidding. But then the warrior, of course, is about Magnus. Magnus in the show is really into woodworking. No little wooden ducks though, but does have the shield and the different things they fought, which is cool. And then the rogue, that's kind of a nice little thing for the rogue and having a wanted poster. It's a little different. That's cool. I think it's going to be interesting to see playing this and seeing how easy it is, because these are just 4 basic stats. And yeah, this is cool. Cool. I wasn't expecting these sheets. That's why it took me a little longer. Is there anything on the back? Oh, there is stuff on the back. Okay. Let's see what's on the back of these. Some different things about a rogue, your rogue, and oh, these are the boxes on the front. So you can roll, I guess you can roll a d6, choose one option from each table or make up your own. You can't decide, roll the dice. So it gives you a starting place for all of these. So what I would do is I would rip this off, I'd give it to the person, or I'd just rip one of these off, and then I will just keep that one loose, so that way, because it might be easier to write on the pad in here. That's cool. Very small set of tokens, ones for each of the characters we just listed. So the Bard, the Priest, the Rogue, the Warrior, and the Wizard. A Death and a Shield. These are the Bureau Balance bracer logos. This is, I guess, the first player token. That's called a Voidfish. That's cool. Tiny little board. Not a 4-fold, but a 2-fold. Which is just one fold. It's got a nice thing of the Bureau of Balance and the cannon to shoot the little balls out. That's how it's an interesting way they do the podcast. They're essentially on this like moon base, because that's the moon. And then they go on one-shot adventures, essentially, one shot that actually lasts a couple episodes, get shot off to the different places. So it's actually a clever way they did that. It's got like the bunkhouses and stuff. This looks like where they first get tested in like one of the first episodes. That's cool. Very cool. So you have the different villain challenge, the relic challenge, the location, laid out in the same way as the other side, the shield strength, and I guess the villain's strength, health. And I bet that this is a 5-player game, 3-player game, 4 or 5-player game, 3-player game, or 2-player game. That's interesting. That's what my bet is, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I bet that's your health. Oh, and what's this? Active surprise. So I guess surprises are going to come up as you go along. Cool. Like I said, I haven't played this yet. Looking forward to seeing it. This is a giant D20. Very cool. Is it a spin down? No, it is not. So opposite this should be the 1. It is a D20, but it does not have 1 through 20. That's interesting. It looks like it's a 1 through 6. No, that's a 9. Yeah, it's a 9. Interesting. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9? I wonder if that's supposed to be a 6. See what I'm saying? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 9. That would be a 9. But I wonder if it's supposed to be a 6. I'm gonna email them and find out. Interesting. Cool. But I like the size of it. Kind of satisfying. Hitting my ring. What do I get? I got a 5. Cool. I hope that's good. So I got 3 decks of cards. This, you annoying roommate, and tiny laboratory. I'm gonna open this up. Did not grab my knife for this one, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, fantasy Costco things. Heart of the cards. What do I get? A know-it-all. That's kind of funny, given the channel. When you assist another player, you add an additional +1 to the result. Cool. Dragon scale armor. Another one. The rail splitter. There we go. That's from the show. That's cool. Just basic axe, but it's super powerful. Now I gotta just look in here real quick. I don't want to spoil. I'm gonna see if I can pull up so many funny ones. The nitpicker. That's funny. Is there any other ones? Oh my god, yeah, there's some. I'm getting some nice memories from the show. Haunted doll, that's creepy. The glutton's fork, the glowing axe. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. The flaming, raging, poisoning sword of doom. So what's really cool about the show is they had a way in which the community audience was able to submit different items, and so a kid named a thing, the flaming, raging, poisoning sword of doom. And it's just kind of a hallmark of the show, is kind of a fan favorite of everybody. Okay, so here are the different things. So like the lich and some information. I don't want to spoil these. Looks like these just, yeah, there's one of each of these. Different Bureau of Balance things. So that was that annoying roommate's card. The Mists of Madness. The Great Gate. Cool. Let me see. So I wonder what all these little spots were for. Because there wasn't that many tokens. So a whole bunch more cards like that, and then some different ones. I bet these are just different for storytelling. Yeah, the Dark Lord. Yeah, that's how this works. On the bottom, it's got different information here. So like for the Horde, for the Idol. Okay. Deck number 3 it looks to be about the same as the other 2 decks, except no Fantasy Costco in that last one. Okay, idol, the ring, the staff, temple, tomb, and defeated. Okay, interesting. And then it's got, these are all double-sided with different things on each one. So I'm gonna have to see how they all go together. Oh, look at this. I love when games do this. When they print something on the inside, so there's a lot of the different items, like the Extreme Teen Bible, goldfish. That's fantastic. Okay, I just love when they do that, because like they don't need to do that. It could just be the cardboard, but they did. See if there's anything below. There is not, just empty box. Okay, well that is what you get inside of the Adventure Zone Bureau of Balance game. Again, I'm gonna email them about the die because I wanna see if it's supposed to be a 9. And because in that case, this would be a 1. There's an X as well. So I'm gonna just check through the rules. I know this is a fail, I know that. And the Bureau of Balance bracers, I'm gonna look in the rule book, but I wanna see if this is supposed to be 9. So I will post that in the comments, and I guess may the 4 be with you. All right, let's go back to the office to hear some thoughts. So we're talking about the Adventure Zone Bureau of Balance. Penny even wants to come and check it out. So this is Penny, she's always on my lap for all of our recordings. But what do I think about this? What do I think it's gonna do? So first of all, honestly, doesn't seem that complicated, which I'm excited about. It's every single time you want to play it, you've got those player pads. So it's a storytelling game, and they're going to be able to make up their own ideas about some of the things they want to do, to name their characters. I love the fact that you can roll if somebody doesn't really have an idea of where to go with their character, it gives some ideas, but you can also fill in the blank yourself. Now, I could see some people wondering about, well, when you pick those 3 decks, so the villain, the idol, and then the location, that, ooh, if I've already used that location, I'm going to know everything. Well, those cards are double-sided, like I showed in the unboxing, but also the players that you're doing it with are going to potentially act differently if they're a different character type, or the roles go differently. So I think it could have some wild differences, even though you're seeing some of the same cards and potentially not the same order. So I think that's kind of cool, and I think it's going to be a good way to introduce storytelling with family members, with friends, that honestly I think I could, when I'm wanting to scratch that D&D storytelling itch, I think that I could use this if I can't dedicate time to a whole campaign, or if I'm wanting to go down the rabbit hole of starting those things. So what we're going to do is my wife and I, Caitlin, are going to check this out 2-player, and then Josh and I are going to try and coordinate a stream so that way you can see us playing this game and telling that story. I'm excited to check that out. So between when I recorded the unboxing part and this, I did actually reach out to the publisher, and I waited for the publisher to get back to me, and thankfully Twogether Studios, they did get back to me really quickly. And so they did clarify about the die, which I did point out in the unboxing, is that it does kind of look like a 9 because of where that period is, but that period is not supposed to be there. Even if you look at the picture in the rulebook, it's not supposed to be there. So this is a 6 for all intents and purposes. So if your copy happens to have this 6 that has a misplaced little dot, just know that it's supposed to be a 6. It's not supposed to be a 9, should not be interpreted as a 9. But just because I haven't played the game yet, I wanted to make sure. Plus, honestly, with the McElroy brothers and the McElroy family, you never know what shenanigans they're up to. So I just wanted to make sure that that was right. So it is a 6. So it's 1 through 6, repeated 3 times on the die. That equals up to 18. And then there's 2 other spots, which the critical success and the critical failure, automatic failure. So yeah, so this is the Adventure Zone Bureau of Balance storytelling card game. Like I said, I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm looking forward to scratching that itch of D&D type things and storytelling. And so, yeah, stay tuned to the channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that way you can get all these videos when they come out, as well as you'll be able to know when that video comes out for us doing that stream. So yeah, I'll see you again next time. And as we end every episode of the podcast and the videos with, it always ends like this, and that is, go make your positive impact on the world. See you later.